Hi everybody, it's Kathleen. I'm super excited to be back in the kitchen with you. I've been busy working on my Karma Cats children's book series that teach kids to be kind and compassionate to animals. And now I'm happy to be back cooking with you. So today we're in a new kitchen again. This is our third kitchen since I started this YouTube channel. And we're gonna be making one of my new favorite recipes. It is a potato leek quiche by Connoisseur Veg. So the first ingredient or thing I would like to introduce you to is this wholly gluten-free pie crust. So if you are gluten-free, I don't know if you can see that they've changed their branding and packaging, so I almost couldn't find it at the health food store. But you want a 9-inch pie shell pre-made. If you're not gluten-free, just get a regular pie crust. And you want to take off the lid, take off the paper, keep it in the aluminum tray, and we're going to pre-bake it for 15 minutes. Otherwise, the inside of the crust will be mushy. We've tried it both ways, so we recommend cooking it 15 minutes before at 375. And then now we are going to fry some potatoes and leeks. And if you don't use oil, feel free to use vegetable broth or water. We have only done it with oil, and it's going to be a tablespoon of oil. I'm using avocado oil. You could use olive oil, whatever works for you. And technically you want to warm up the pan before you add the potatoes. I've had this pan heating. And this is like what we use for pancakes, but it actually is the only non-stick pan we have. And then we're going to add, I've chopped one potato here. It's a russet potato. You want to make sure you dice it small enough so that it can fry up. We are going to add the leeks in a little bit. We're going to add them towards the end. Otherwise, they just turn to mush. So start with your potatoes. There we go. By themselves. And just be sure, I'm using a rubber spatula so we're not scraping the bottom of the pan. I appreciate your tips when you leave me tips in the comments about my kitchen supplies. I'm always adding and subtracting to make things easier and less noisy in the videos. All right, so we're gonna let that get going on its own, and we're going to move on to the filling. Okay, so the star ingredient of the filling is extra firm tofu, and I'd like to show you this Simple Truth Organic. This is a Kroger brand available in all major grocery stores, and it's around $1.65. It's very affordable. The thing people don't realize about tofu, it's also very high in calcium and protein. And I don't really worry about protein, but there are 36 grams in one package of tofu. So this block has that much protein. You know, people are always asking vegans where they get their protein, and I like to say beans and greens. So you can actually leave it a little moist. I'm not drying it out with a towel like I would for other recipes because it calls for a tablespoon of plant milk, and I'm just letting the water from the tofu be that tablespoon. Or you can also add the plant milk, whatever you think is best. I just don't have any on hand. And you can also use a tablespoon of water later if needed, okay? Now, we've added, Wade and I, my husband, I have steamed a cup of broccoli. This is just to give it a little bit more greens and nutrition and color. So I've already steamed a cup of broccoli heads. You could steam that in with a cup of water. And then we're going to add the nutritional yeast. Now, I don't always use nutritional yeast because I can be a little sensitive to it, but it does give it that eggy color. And I highly recommend, this is by Sari, S-A-R-I Foods. You can order it on Amazon. The great thing about it is that it's non-GMO and no MSG, which I can't say that about other brands. So if you're going to use nutritional yeast, I highly recommend it. I actually normally don't use it in this recipe, but I'm going to just half it. It calls for 2 tablespoons of yeast, and I'm going to use 1. Wade really loves it and just puts it on top. So if you have somebody in your family who can't do the yeast, no big deal. You can add it on top, and I actually think it tastes great without it too. And then we're going to add some Bragg's. You can use tamari, you can use soy sauce, Bragg's is just made from soybeans, so it is gluten-free. And we're gonna do 2 tablespoons of Bragg's. Hopefully one day Bragg's will go organic. I'm not sure why they're not. Then I've got some fresh squeezed lemon juice here. We're gonna add a tablespoon. Oh, I have just enough. Just enough. All right. And then I do use salt. I'm gonna add a 1/2 teaspoon. You don't have to use any salt. And you can always add it on top if you want. Okay. And we're gonna blend this up. And get it all mixed together. Take little breaks and scrape the sides. Well, it's looking pretty good. All right, we're gonna check on our potatoes. There we go. You want them to be brown, a little bit brown. So basically they're pre-cooked and we're gonna stir those into the mixture here in a bit. The potatoes are looking great. So I'm just gonna finish chopping this leek. You just wanna chop it very, very, very thin. Okay? The leeks give it so much flavor and some more color. Okay, let's get rid of that. First we're gonna add 2 garlic bulbs here. Cloves, excuse me, cloves. All right, get that going. I actually could even add more. I love garlic. Okay, I'm just gonna lay these in here because this pan is a little tricky. All right, and we're gonna let these cook together for about 5 minutes. All right, so we've got the leeks and potatoes thoroughly cooked with the garlic. Yummy, smells amazing already. I'm just gonna gently scoop this. So I tried a regular pan, not a non-stick one, and the potatoes got stuck to the pan, so that's why we're using this non-stick skillet, which is a little tricky to navigate into the bowl. And now we're gonna take the yummy tofu broccoli mixture and scoop it in. So another great benefit of tofu. I'm a huge tofu fan. It's truly one of my favorite plant-based foods because it satiates me. Is it has no cholesterol, right? Because eggs are loaded with cholesterol, and our bodies, livers, make our own cholesterol that we don't need to eat other animals' cholesterol. Okay, got that in there. I'm gonna stir it around, get it all mixed up. So this would be great. I mean, we eat it for dinner, but it could definitely be brunch, holiday, bring it to a potluck, whatever you want. So another reason I haven't made a recipe in a long time is that I actually hadn't found anything I really love. I like mainly just sharing the recipes I love. And so this is at the top of my list right now. And we were gonna make it for dinner tonight, and I was like, let's make a video because I want everybody to know about this amazing potato leek quiche from Connoisseur Veg. All right, we are going to put it now into our pie crust. So it did cook for 15 minutes, and we're going to really avalanche this thing, whoops, excuse me, full. And it's going to cook for 30 to 35 minutes at 375. So you know what, Thanksgiving, sometimes you make a pumpkin pie. We only make one, and then see, seriously, the other pie crust would sit in the freezer for another year and I'd be like, can I still use this for the following Thanksgiving? But now I know what to do with the other pie crust is make this amazing recipe. Okay. And I hope you'll look at my website. I do have the easiest vegan pumpkin pie recipe and the best. I can't remember, it's just a few ingredients, cashews, pumpkin, and maple syrup. It's the simplest and most delicious vegan pumpkin pie recipe. Okay. Okay, we have the mound of quiche ready to go. Be sure you hold it with both hands under because it's very heavy, heavier than a regular pie. And I'm also going to place a pan under it just in case there's any leakage. Whoops, excuse me. Okay, so we're going to put it on the top shelf. Again, 375. And we'll start at 30 minutes and check it. All right, see you in a bit. All right, we're back. I let the quiche go 35 minutes just because I like the edges a little bit more brown. So be sure and check it at around minute 30. And when you slide it out, you can bring that bottom pan under it or your hand. You just want to be careful. Doesn't that look amazing? It's so delicious. Everybody in your family will love it. It's so good. Potato leek quiche by Connoisseur Veg. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, thank you for saving animals with your food choices. I hope you and your family have a happy holiday season, and I'd love to hear how you're doing in the comments. Thanks.